Good evening, everyone. We will give 2 minutes for the others to just join. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this wonderful session. Am I audible? Please let me know if I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible.
Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am, you're audible.
Thank you. So, today's speaker is Dr. Girish Janney. So, Dr. Girish Janney is a founder and director of Panchavati Research Academy for Nature, PRANA, which is called as PRANA, an organization dedicated to ecological research and nature education with focus on the Sharavati Valley in the Western Ghats. A passionate advocate for amphibian ecology, Dr. Janney's work bridges scientific research, environmental education, and community engagement. Dr. Janney holds a PhD from Kuvempu University, awarded in 2010 for his thesis titled Influence of Habitat Characters on the Population of an Endemic Frog, Nyctibatrachus major, in the Central Western Ghats. His groundbreaking research has contributed significantly to the understanding of Nyctibatrachus major populations in one of the world's biodiversity hotspot. In addition to leading Prana, Dr. Janney serves as an assistant professor at Srimati Indira Gandhi Government First Grade Women's College, Sagra, where he has been teaching environmental studies to undergraduate students from arts, science, and commerce background for over 15 years. His dedication to the education extends beyond the classroom as he actively organizes environmental awareness programs, workshops, nature camps through Prana. Dr. Janney has widely recognized for his contribution to environmental education, receiving the prestigious award. This is Deccan Herald Changemakers Award in 2024, presented by the Deccan Herald Media Groups. His leadership at Prana involves the collaborating with stakeholders, mentoring nature enthusiasts, and offering consultancy services for organizing impactful ecological awareness initiatives. Beyond academia and community outreach, Dr. Janney has collaborated with filmmakers to share his expertise in amphibian ecology, guiding the production of acclaimed wildlife documentaries. His contributions include The Last Hope by Pradeep Hegde and Dheeraj Aital, Wild Karnataka by Kalyan Verma and Amoga Varsha, and the Jackson Wild Award winning documentary Kappe Raga by Prashant Nayaka. Currently, he is lending his expertise to The Little Planet, A Tale of Frogs by Suhas Premkar. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your wonderful introduction.
Um, so, is my screen
fine.
visible?
Shall I start?
Yes, sir, you can.
Yeah, it's visible. Yeah. Okay, fine. Thank you, Divyashri, for a wonderful introduction. And welcome all participants for this 2 days course on amphibians, a wonderful creature from the planet. Today I'm give some basic information about amphibians and their role in environment and how they are becoming the jewels of our wonderful Western Ghats, one of the hottest hotspot in the world. Okay, today and tomorrow we're going to discuss about different aspects of amphibians, which are going to give you more information about what exactly the group of amphibians are and where they are, uh, like, uh, where we can find those organisms, and what are the different studies on these amphibians are going on in the various parts of the world, and how to study these amphibians is very important. Next slide. Okay, fine. What are amphibians is a very basic questions. We're going to come exactly when we go into the field of amphibians. The amphibia, it's a Greek word basically. They are composed of two different words. That is, one is amphi means two, bios means life. Where they are the are creatures which are leading a double life. That is a very significant feature of the amphibians. They are cold-blooded organisms. Their the body temperature going to concurrent with the ambient temperature. That means as the temperature of the atmosphere changes, the temperature of the these organisms also going to change. That's why they are very sensitive organisms, typically living on land. For breeding purpose, they went to the water. That's why they are called as amphibians. The part of the life in the water, especially during the tadpole stage, and the next adult and subadult stage, they require land. That is a very unique feature of these amphibians. They are the dual lifers. That's why they are called as dual lifers. Two stages in their life. One picture is showing the tadpole stage. They are present in the water. They need water bodies. It may be the stream or a pond or even a rivers or even some rain pool like that. And after the metamorphosis, they enter to the land, and they live independently on the land mass. Next slide, please. The land mass, and they're going to find their food there, and wander in the very part of their landscapes. Next. Next slide. Okay, fine. Amphibians, many times amphibians, what we thought that the crocodiles are amphibians. Many graduates are telling many times that the snakes and other tortoises, they're all the amphibians. But actually, they are not amphibians. Amphibians includes only the three orders, that is Anura, Chordata, and Gymnophiana. Anura means they are the tailless amphibians. There is no true tail during their adult stage. The picture is showing two different groups of anurans, that is a toad and frog. Frogs and toads are the part of the anurans. Chordata, they are the salamanders and newts, and the amphibians with the true tail. They are having the true tail during adult stage also. During the tadpole stage, both of these anurans and chordates have the tail, but chordata will continue with their life with the tail after the adult stage also. The last one is the Gymnophiana. They are the very unique organisms. They are very similar to the worm. Many times we confuse with the earthworms, and even sometimes with the smaller snakes also, the blind snake like that. They are the amphibians without limbs. That is a very unique feature of these Gymnophiana. That means the amphibians includes all such diversified groups. One is with the both with tail and legs. One is with without tail. One is without legs. That is a very unique feature of these amphibians. Coming to the next slide. Next slide, we're going to explain the basic information about the life cycle of the amphibians. The picture is going to show how they are, come out from the water and they independently live in the land. Eggs will going to lay in the water bodies, and next embryo tadpole. There are many stages of tadpoles were there, And after the metamorphosis, during metamorphosis, they get their hind limbs first, then forelimbs after. Slowly, the tail will not going to separate. Many times we confuse with that thing. The tail will not going to separate from their body. Actually, the tail will going to regress, get into their body. It's a tissue. Tail is nothing but it's a tissue that will going to get into their body, and slowly they're going to regress, and after that they come out from the water with tetrapods, four limbs, and then they independently live on the terrestrial environment to get their food, to get their mate also. And after that they come into the water bodies to continue their progeny. They lay their eggs. Like that, the life cycle is going to continue to the larger extent. Next slide. This slide is going to give you the brief information about what are the different body parts of the frogs and toads. It has the nostrils, the noses is also called as nostril, mouth, the foreleg and hind legs. They are also called as forelimb and hind limb also. We can find the web in both the limbs. Digits are the part of the feet. Vocal sac is a very significant part of the frogs and toads, which we're going to use it for the vocalization purpose. I will explain that in the next slides. Tymphanium is act as a ear, back, trunk, and head. All these are the very significant part of the frogs and toads, and these will going to help you in identifying the frogs and to identify the different species on the basis of the what the extent of these web, and what the difference between the nostril and eyes, and even the patterns which is present on the trunk. All these are the very significant information to find the which species it is. Like that. Next slide. Okay, these are the general anatomy. We're going to explain the basic information about the anatomy of the frogs. Tetrapods, basically these are the organism with tetrapod, nothing but the two pairs of limbs. Actually, there is the exception in civilians. Already told they are the limbless amphibians, and many have the webbed feet, except these civilians. Both these newts and salamanders, and even in the frogs and toads, they have the web with the different levels. Some of the organisms may have the full web, half web, partially webbed, like that. Civilians are notably are the limbless organisms, and even the absence of scales. Exoskeleton is not there in the civilians, but sometimes confused that scale is there, but it's not as snakes are like that. And amphibians have the bony skeletons. Next slides. Okay, the respiration. Coming to the next component of the frog is respiration is very significant component in the frogs. These amphibians depends upon aquatic respiration, since they are the main part of the partial the life is in the water. They require the different type of respiration through the gills and like that. And even on the basis of their development and temperature and season wise, their the feature of respiration is going to change. The respiration is by gills, lungs, skins, or the mouth cavity. That is the uniqueness of amphibians. They're having multiple type of respiration feature. The combination of all can be used sometimes in a particular species also. The most common form of amphibian respiration is through the lungs. Many times you confuse with that also. The major respiration type is through the skin, but not like that. Through lungs, it will go to use many times the lungs as a major respiratory organ. Coming to the next part, that is amphibians lack diaphragm. Actually, they are the part of our anatomy. That diaphragm is a muscular sheet present beneath the human leg, but amphibians, they are lacking that diaphragm. Amphibian breathing, on other hand, depends on positive pressure. Actually, it's called as buccal pumping. It's a very unique feature in amphibians. Buccal pumping is a very unique feature. The circular respiration is also called as similar to the circular respiration, and the throat will actually push the air to the lungs and coming back like that. That's called as buccal pumping. Next slide. Yeah, eyes are very significant part of these amphibians, since they they help them to find their prey, and even what predators are coming near to them. Like that, the eyes are very significant part for all organisms, including these amphibians. The bulging eyes are a very significant feature. They are bulged like that, and it helps to see the front and back also. Not exactly the completely back side, but majority of the side will going to appear from their eyes. That's why they have been modified their eyes like bulging type. And nictitating membrane is a protective membrane present on the eyes. It can be also called as third eyelid, and it's a very significant part, and it would help them to see the different uh, materials, prey or predator under the water. Nictitating membrane, highly sensitive to movement. The eyes are very sensitive. It's very important, since the anytime any predator may come, and it can shallow. For that, eyes are very prominent, and even it can observe the sensitivity of movement to find their prey. The movement of the organism will going to sensed by the frogs and going to get and going to eat that particular. It may be ants, or it may be some insects, or it may be some other spiders like that. Oh, excellent night vision, since the frogs and amphibians are the nocturnal organisms. The vision is very important in the night. For that, the eyes are developed for the night vision also. This there is an image. This shows the diversity of the pupil iris. The pattern, very wonderful eye pattern is there in amphibians. But in Sicilians, the eyes are very reduced, since their life is in the beneath the soil, subsurface life. There is no need of eyes. That's why the eyes are reduced in the Sicilian group of amphibians. Next slide. Coming to the ear is also a very significant organ in the frogs, as usual with the other organisms also. It has to hear the advertisement call or alarming call of other organisms. That's why advancement of amphibians for their terrestrial existence is in the with respect to the ear. Unlike that fishes, there is no need of sound. Actually, since they are having the terrestrial environment, their sensitivity to get the sound from the outside environment is very significant. That's why they have the inner ear, middle ear, and outer ear also. There is increased sensitivity to accommodate the airborne sounds. Yeah, next. Yeah, next, the vocal sac. Vocal sac is a very unique, phenomenon in all frogs and toads, not in newts or in Sicilians. Vocal sac is a flexible membrane. It's a very thin, flexible membrane of skin possessed by the most male frogs. Even in the female frogs also, there is a very thin vocal sac is there, but they are not used for the vocalization purpose. But the purpose of vocal sac is usually as an amplification of their mating or advertisement call. Very significant feature. Yeah. These vocal, the sound will going to use it for the communication to attract the other sex. That's why the male frogs will going to call and get in touch with the other sex of the same species, and thereby they're going to amplex there, and then they continue their progeny. That's why the vocal sacs very prominent in amphibians, and there is a very diversified vocal sacs, the single lobe, bilobed, like that. There are different types of vocal sacs also there on the basis of their habitat and even their requirements. Next, coming to the skin. Skin is also very significant part. They are very glandular, with very smooth, moist, and the lack of scales in the, especially in the frogs, contains numerous mucus glands also, and some of the frogs are having these toxic glands. They're very important, but there is no the frogs with the toxic gland in our Western Ghats or in India, but in other part of the world, especially in African continent, we can come across, and even in the South American continent, we can come across the poisonous frogs are there. They're having the poison or toxic glands present in those frogs or toads, like that. Emergence on the land required adaptation to accommodate the desiccation. Desiccation, since the weather pattern may change at any time, that's why the maintaining the moisture on the skin is very important. For that, their skin is also modified to maintain that the moisture in the skin also. Caecilians have concealed dermal scales. Yeah, next. That is about the blood circulation. Coming to the heart, actually, in frogs or toads, they're having a three-chambered heart divided into two atrium and a single ventricle. By using all these things, they're going to exchange the oxygen and also the circulating the blood to the different parts of the body. Next. Yeah, fertilization. Fertilization is a very significant phenomenon for all organisms. Here in amphibians, we can come across both external and internal fertilization, especially in frogs and toads, and even in the salamanders, we can come across external fertilization. There is no copulation like that. The female the female going to lay the eggs. Immediately the male will going to spray the sperm, and externally they are going to fertilize, and the other part of their life cycle going to continue in the environment through the tadpoles, like that. In salamanders, there is a very quite different phenomenon. The male will going to deposit a spermatophore in the outside, and which will going to pick it up by the female and get into their body, and inside the body they're going to develop. But fertilization is external. The eggs are fertilized and externally, and they're going to continue their body. Next, civilians, there is an internal fertilization. There is the organ, and by using those organ, like similar to our copulation, we can come across the fertilization, that is internal fertilization in civilians. Next, coming to the next eggs. Next slide. Yes, unlike the other terrestrial organisms, many of the terrestrial organisms, they have the amniotes, but amphibians, the frogs and salamanders, lay eggs in water, as that of their ancestors, fishes. We can come across the jelly-like, the feature in the outside the appearance, transparent jelly type. You can see in the picture also. Amphibians eggs are very vulnerable to the desiccation. That is a very, very significant part. That's why they lay their eggs, and they have to protect their eggs from the desiccation. Civilians are going to lay the eggs near water vicinity, but majority of the frogs and toads going to lay their eggs in the water pools, maybe streams, or the ponds, or any other aquatic environment. You can see the different types of eggs here: frog eggs, salamander eggs, and Sicilian eggs in the picture also. And one of the Sicilian is protecting their eggs by coiling there there is a parental care in frogs and even in the civilians also. Next, there is a why we have to concern the amphibians. That is a big question, since they are very significant ecological indicators. The changes in the aquatic or with the terrestrial environment will going to reflected by the behavior or in their existence of these amphibians. That's why they're called as biological indicator, ecological indicator, or they're also called as ecological health indicators, like that. They're the canary in the coal mine. They're also called as canary in the coal mine. And in general, they play a very significant role as a prey and even as a predator in the food web. Otherwise, we cannot control the population of the very huge quantity of insects on the planet. And, they are the friends of farmers also, since they eat the numerous pest insects, benefiting the successful agriculture around the world. Next. Yeah. But the mosquitoes are, as you all know, they are the pest, and they have resulted in various diseases like malaria also. And these pests are controlled by these amphibians, especially during its larval stage itself. The mosquito go to lay their eggs and their larvae present in the water pools. And during that stage itself, the frogs and even the toads will go into the control their population in their larval stage itself. Thereby, can control the spread of these diseases. It's an example, malaria. Other example like chikungunya or H1N1, like that. They are all made by the insects. The skin of amphibians have substances like antimicrobial peptides. In the recent past, many research is going on regarding these the antifungal, antimicrobial activity of these amphibians also. Secretion of this poison from the arrow frogs, poison arrow frogs, and other part of the world can be used as a painkillers in the many pharmaceutical industries also. Coming to the next slide, this is the diversity of amphibians. The globally, almost near to the 9,000, 8,923 species amphibians were there. And among them, almost 88% of amphibians are the part of the anurans, which consists of both toads and frogs. Chordatons, they are 826, almost 9%. Gymnophiana, that is civilians, only 3%, that is 225 species are identified in the global level. Coming to the Indian context, almost nearly 500, that is 455 species of amphibians are described in the Indian subcontinent. Among them, 412 is anurans, frogs and toads. Only 2 species of representative salamanders are identified in India. They are present in Himalayan range. And there are 41 apodons, nothing but the Sicilians. There are 41 species. India, especially the Western Ghats, is home for the global apodon diversity, that is Sicilian diversity. Coming to the Western Ghats, there are 252 species of amphibians are identified in the Western Ghat range. About 220, among them 228 species belongs to 16 genera are endemic to this. That's the wonderful information, especially almost 228 out of 250 means almost 90, more than 90% of species of Western Ghats are endemic. We cannot find these species of frogs and toads outside this boundary of Western Ghats, that is among the 6 different states of Western India. Next slide. Coming to the where we can find these species of frogs and toads or amphibians, the question rises. Almost all types of environment in the globe is consists of these frogs and toads or any one other group of amphibians, except the Antarctica and ocean. They cannot live in the saline water. That's why you cannot find these species of frogs or toads or any other group of amphibians in the saline water. Next slide, please. Yeah, this picture shows where exactly we can find these species of frogs, toads, or other group of organisms of amphibians, forests, grasslands, lakes, ponds, marshes, rivers, and streams. Yeah, in all these the part of the world we can find these group of amphibians. Next slide. And these are the pictures. I'm going to provide some information about the where exactly they find these species of amphibians, the forests, the grassland, especially our Shola grassland of our Western Ghats is known for the wonderful uh, diversity of amphibians. The streams, perennial streams, mountain brooks, they hold very unique species of amphibians. You cannot find those species of stream or brook dweller amphibians, the frogs, in outside those streams. They cannot survive in other part of the habitats. Swamps, Maristica swamps of our Uttarakhand district of Western Ghats are the home for a variety of amphibians. Even the rain pools also provide the temporary habitats for these amphibians during breeding time. They provide the breeding grounds. The eggs will develop the tadpoles and next come out from those pools, and they can independently live on the other part of the habitats. Not only in the natural habitats, but also we can find these frogs, toads, or other Sicilians like organisms in the altered, man-made, or even man-engineered habitat like agricultural habitats like areca plantation, or even paddy fields, or tea or coffee plantation, or even in and around our human habitations also. Yeah. The next question is when we can see these organisms. Absolutely, in all season we can find, but during pre-monsoon showers, some group of organisms going to more active, and we can find some species. During monsoon, the highest number of species of amphibians can be find in all the part of the world. And retreating monsoon, the species of amphibians will going to decrease during retreating monsoon, and during winter and summer can find only the few species which can withstand those type of temperature variation. Yeah. Coming to the amphibians of Western Ghats, they're the wonderful jewels. We can come across very diversified with morphologically, and even with their behavior also. We can find the numerous types of frogs and toads. Here, this picture is going to provide some of the species of toads. That is Malabar tree toad. It's the only species of toad which is present on the tree. Almost 90% of their lifestyle, life history will be in the tree or canopy. Only during the monsoon season, it coming to the near to the stream, perennial streams, and they amplex. They find their mates. They lay their eggs, and they go back to their normal canopy life. They are the very wonderful. The common toad is very common in all the part of the India also. Especially during in a human habitation, you can find the toads. Amboli tiger toad is a very endemic. It's only present in the Maharashtra part of uh, Western Ghats. Malabar torrent toad is also very endemic, and only they can find in the torrential streams. Their population is very minimum. They are especially Malabar torrent toad. They are the critically endangered species like that. Their population is very minimum like that. Next. Yeah, this is Indian bullfrog. Indian bullfrog is very unique, and they're one of the biggest frog in Indian subcontinent. They are the bilobed vocal sacs we can observe in the blue color. The body color has been changed to the yellow. The coloration will going to change in frogs during its breeding season. Not in all frogs, but in some frogs, we can come across that the change in the coloration to get the proper female, to attract their proper female. They made like that adaptations. Next, these are the cricket frogs. These are cricket frogs. Since their calling type is very similar to the cricket insects, that's why they are called as cricket frogs. Majority of the cricket frogs also are endemic to the Western Ghats. Kudiremu cricket frog, Kerala cricket frog, Krishnan cricket frog is endemic to the Jog part of our Western Ghats. Kalinga cricket frog we can find even in the Bengal also, and even in the Western Ghats also. There is a question how their distribution is extended to that from that part to the Western Ghats. There's a question to the all amphibian researchers also. Next slide. These are the leaping frogs. Why they are called as leaping means their jumping feature is quite similar to the leap, like that. That's called as leaping frogs. Indirana chiravasi, Indirana semipalmata, Netravali leaping frog. All these are very unique. They're all having the prominent, tymphanum. Tymphanum is very prominent in these leaping frogs, and the web is almost quarter webbed or half webbed like that. There is no full webbed in these the feet of these frogs. It all depends upon their habitat. They are not actively present in the water. The majority of their life on the terrestrial environment. There is no need of the web for them. That's why there is no the development of webs in these leaping frogs. Next. Yeah. That is narrow-mouthed or balloon frogs. The mouth part is very narrow, and many times they made their body like balloon to express, to avoid the predators. Microhyla cordial is endemic to the Manipal region of Karnataka. Microhyla ornata, which can be observed in the almost all part of the Western Ghats. Laterite narrow-mouthed frog. They're very minute, small frogs, almost 15 mm to 20 mm. The body from snout to vent length, SVL is called as snout to vent length. It's almost 20 mm like that. It's very small frogs. Next.
Sir, there is only 1 minute left. So can we continue tomorrow?
Okay.
So
Okay, but
we have dancing frogs
maybe
and tree frogs and all. So that can be
okay.
continued tomorrow.
Okay, and
And
even tomorrow, I think the participants need the time to interact with me also, I think.
yes, yes, sir. Today I'll be adding you to the group.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And please, participant, please point out your doubts and other things regarding these amphibians. I will clarify in the next session also, and even you can interact with me in WhatsApp group also,
Yes,
please.
sir. So tomorrow at the same time we will join the group. So today we will wind it up here.
Okay, is it continuing? It's continuing.
Yes, sir. Tomorrow we will
Okay.
continue, sir. Thank you all for joining.